A USC study shows e-cigarettes are a gateway to tobacco products for nearly 21% of users. We spoke with the study's lead researcher.
The e-cigarette industry is expected to reach $44 billion worldwide in the next few years. We'll take you live to a local South LA smoke shop. I'm Trevor Sahaki.
And I'm Chris Cheshire. See It Live starts now.
People drool next to me in class, and it is really annoying. But I feel like if I was to say something, like, I would be overreacting. Or like,
The first reports of vaping-related illnesses began in March 2019.
Now the number of those illnesses has surpassed 1,000 with no sign of slowing down.
According to the CDC, there have been 19 deaths across the U.S. related to vaping, and more than 1,000 cases of vaping-related illness. The largest group of people who have gotten sick are college-aged, and the most are also between 18 and 34. In 2 out of 3 cases, the patients are also male. There have been cases reported in almost all 50 states, and deaths have been reported in 13, including 2 people who died here in California, one of whom lived in LA County. In response, some states have issued bans on flavored vaping products. The governor of Massachusetts even went so far as to issue a blanket ban on all e-cigarette sales for the next 4 months. California, on the other hand, hasn't responded as strongly. Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order on September 16th, ordering the California Department of Public Health to issue recommendations for reducing the availability of vapes to people under 21. However, the LA County Board of Supervisors chose to act, voting unanimously on Tuesday to ban the sale of flavored e-cigarettes. LA Board of Supervisors member Janice Hahn shared her thoughts on the ban with Annenberg Media, saying, quote, "For decades, we were making incredible progress in decreasing tobacco use among young people, but flavored e-cigarettes have reversed that trend. Now, nearly 1 in 10 high schoolers report using e-cigarettes. By taking action now and banning the sale of flavored products that mask the smell and taste of tobacco, we may be able to save this next generation from the same terrible health effects of nicotine addiction that generations before them suffered from."
There are still a lot of myths surrounding vaping. Annenberg Media's Nicola Wenz found experts to debunk some of these misperceptions.
Vaping has fast become a well-known trend, but there is still a lot of misconceptions surrounding it. The LA Times reported last month that the FDA accused electronic cigarette maker Juul of illegally claiming their product is safer than smoking, but vaping has resulted in deaths nationwide. There are some common misconceptions about vaping.
We tend to create myths. If you know something is less harmful than another thing, 2 weeks later, you say, "What did you learn?" "Oh, I learned it's not harmful."
Popular misconceptions include the following. Vaping is just inhaling water. It will not give you popcorn lungs, otherwise known as bronchitis. It is less harmful than cigarettes, and it is less addicting than cigarettes.
Saying that something's safer than a cigarette isn't much to hang your hat on. It's still, cigarettes are one of the more deadly products out there on the market, so we would want to be careful with that type of language.
Experts also warn of the lack of information when it comes to the actual ingredients in these thousands of vape flavors. But none of these flavored products will be available in LA County once the ban takes in effect at the beginning of November. For Annenberg Media, I'm Nicola Wenz.
A USC study surveyed over 6,000 high schoolers from 3 separate studies about their vaping and smoking usage. Among the findings, 21% of e-cig users then started smoking regular cigarettes, and 7% of never smokers started smoking. We spoke to the lead USC researcher about what she thinks needs to happen to combat teen vaping.
The progression or the fact that smoking is so stigmatized and that people do have such a negative reaction to that, I think is the product of years and years and decades of really good tobacco control policies. So I'm hoping that without e-cigarettes available in flavors, that youth who were deterred from smoking combustible cigarettes might also similarly be deterred from vaping if they can't vape these more popular flavors.
There are still many unknowns about vaping. According to researchers from Johns Hopkins University, the chemicals in e-cigarettes and vapes are a mystery. The Centers for Disease Control is working to identify the causes of vaping-related illness. Here is a quick explanation on how vaping works. Vapes heat nicotine, flavorings, and other chemicals to create water vapor that is inhaled. Substances in the vapor can include additives, heavy metals, toxins, and carcinogens. Nicotine, an addictive substance, harms the developing adolescent brain. Also, the nervous, cardiovascular, and respiratory systems. The CDC is continuing to work closely with the FDA and other state and local partners to investigate this vaping epidemic.
Okay, all right. What kind of... You said I don't want to talk about it. Trey, what are you doing? Hey. Yes! Get out!
Andy!
Get out of my room! Get out!
Andy!
What?
Not lying. I didn't say anything. Yes, you did.
Tobacco-Free California produced this ad showing how kids are getting hooked on flavored e-cigarettes, as well as the negative effects of nicotine.
Similar to a cigarette, vapes contain nicotine, making them highly addictive. At USC, the Haven College helps students struggling with addiction.
Addiction is a very tricky and multifaceted kind of disease. The Haven, has done a lot of research, and based on what we've noticed, there's a pretty significant gap when it comes to treatment for substance use disorders in college students. We see students who come to us and, are struggling very heavily. They may not have tried substances until they get into college and then realize that they have an issue with it. Some students have already come to us, once they get to college, they've already had some substance use problems in the past. And once they're in this environment, it can really start to unravel.
For help with addiction, visit the Haven Recovery Center located at the United University Church on campus, or go to their website at havencollege.com. Here at USC, students are not allowed to smoke cigarettes or vape e-cigs on campus. We want to get their opinions on the effects of vaping.
I think vaping culture here at USC is pretty prevalent. I see it all the time in terms of people just puffing away.
It's expensive. It's not good for you.
I'll just be having a conversation with someone and then they pull one out and they're like, oh, do you want some? There's no stigma around it.
One of my friends got rid of his Juuls and he's like, I'm gonna quit. And then at every social event, I'll see him hitting other people's and I'm like, this doesn't help the problem at all.
People Juul next to me in class and it is really annoying. But I feel like if I was to say something, I would be overreacting.
And I want it to be kind of stigmatized and put down as someone who is smoking a cigarette, since it's pretty much the same thing.
At the high school level, students are facing off with tobacco and vaping companies. International Youth Tobacco Control, or IYTC, was first launched by students at San Marino High School. Students go to elementary and middle schools to teach kids to be smart and don't start.
Ever since 2017, I think there's been 135% increase in the amount of people that vape.
Yeah, and it's kind of really ridiculous because we've been trying to do tobacco control of cigarettes for so many years, and it's gone down to 5.4%, which is the lowest in history.
Flavors like bubblegum, blue raspberry, and cotton candy are just a few of the vaping products parents say are obviously targeting kids. A group of moms banded together to fight underage vaping more than a year before the epidemic of illnesses and deaths started this fall. They call themselves Parents Against Vaping E-Cigarettes, or PAVE. The founders of PAVE have gone before Congress to demand accountability from Juul. On the PAVE YouTube channel, they talk about their fears and frustrations. They also organize rallies and educate other parents about vaping.
Big tobacco is not going away, but guess what? Neither are we and neither are our partners. This is a race against time so that we can protect this generation from being a generation of nicotine addicts and frankly from being a generation of guinea pigs for the Juul experiment.
In addition to their own activism, the PAVE moms created a toolbox on their website for other parents to join the movement.
Some believe social media helps promote a vaping lifestyle that glamorizes the activity and the products. We spoke with PR professor Matthew Levesque on the factors that promote the sale of vaping products.
So you're going into something that's highly addictive, something that has a perception of being safer, and then you throw in social media, Instagram models, Twitter, a lot of YouTube videos and everything that are showing more of a lifestyle of sort of youthful looking people enjoying each other. But then you get these teenagers and these young adults that once they're doing it, they shoot videos of it, they're doing challenges, they're doing other things, so they're on their own are sort of creating this perception within their own social networks.
Companies like Juul intended to market their products as a healthier option for adult smokers. According to their website, Juul believes, quote, vaping can have a positive impact when used by adult smokers and can have a negative impact when used by non-smokers.
The number of vape shops has expanded over the past few years with an increase in e-cigarette products. Annenberg Media's Hunter Patterson is at a smoke shop right now in South LA. Hunter, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Chris. I'm here at Arabian Nights, which is one of the many local smoke shops in South LA that will be directly affected by the vape ban. Now, earlier on today, we had Becky Sweeney, a reporter for Annenberg Media, to get footage of Arabian Nights. Take a look inside. So since Juul will be banning the cream, cucumber, fruit, and mango flavors, the mint flavor has skyrocketed. Some may even say it's up in smoke. There are also alternatives to Juul, such as Mr. Puff Bar and Mr. Fog, that are gaining popularity since Juul has banned the regulation of those products. Now, as Chris mentioned earlier on, Massachusetts is currently banning all vape products over the next 4 months, and local business owners in Massachusetts say that it is unconstitutional, and they're actually suing the state, saying that it is essentially a death sentence for local shop owners. For Annenberg Media, I'm Hunter Patterson. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Hunter. And you know, seeing vapes explode over the past couple of years, it has been insane. It's so different than how, I mean, tobacco had so long to come up. Vapes have been so prevalent, I mean, among our generation.
And the backlash that's suddenly come to them.
It's incredible,
I think social media has contributed to that backlash as well.
Oh, no, I 100% agree. I mean, social media, just being able to see other people and being able to spread the word of mouth with vapes has been, it's been unbelievable to see.
Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
Well, thanks for watching See It Live. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Chris Cheshire.
And I'm Trevor Sahaki. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Have a good night.